What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team, stand up! It's April, another month to be grateful. We got FlightReacts back at it again. Killer wife realizes police found her husband's body. You promised me weeks ago that dirt you was doing, you was gonna stop. What are you waiting for, man? It's 2025. This technology is only getting better every single day. You're gonna get caught. It's coming. It's around the corner. You think you about to have an a lit summer, 2025 summer, this and that? You're not even moving smart, man. Is it really worth it? Find yourself something that you're passionate about and keep it pushing, man, because eventually everything will come down if you keep doing stuff the non-legal way. All right, let's check it out.
All right,
Dr. Insanity.
You're being charged for murder.
Oh boy.
This is 37-year-old Nicole Woodard. Just
37? There's no way she 37, bro. What are you doing to be... Bro, she dead ass like she turning 54 tomorrow.
8 hours ago, police discovered her husband, Daniel Rayburn, brutally beaten and deceased in the yard of his own home.
What?
Neighbors said that they heard some subjects arguing and possibly one gunshot last night.
At first, detectives believed this tragedy was the result of a robbery, but they would be horribly wrong. As the weeks-long investigation began, detectives would uncover a toxic relationship and a twisted conspiracy with Nicole at the very center of it all.
Whose DNA is going to be on that gun? Now's the time you need to tell me, because there's not going to be another opportunity.
Hey, man. Anybody that's in relationships out there, man, your first little domestic incident, man, go ahead and leave that relationship, because it's only going to be up from there. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, why would you even settle for someone that's putting their hands on you for both, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? It happens on both sides. Obviously, from like what the media portrays, you know, it's obviously they try to make it seem like it's just the ladies that get abused. But, bro, men get abused as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, in both sides, like, you know, definitely leave the relationship. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find you somebody better. There's going to be somebody out there that's going to know how to treat you without you having to teach them like you're their parent or something, bro. Like, there's just no excuses for it. All right? So.
On July 4th, officers in Dublin, Georgia received a disturbing call. A passing motorcyclist reported seeing a motionless body on the front lawn of a nearby house and urgently requested a welfare check. When first responders arrived at the scene, it quickly became clear the man was already beyond saving.
Damn.
How y'all doing?
That's the dude that's recording, or that's the
the blood come across his arm right there. He's laying like somebody, he was attacked or shot or something.
As first responders took a closer look, the disturbing condition of the man's body became clear. His skin was covered in bruises, insects crawled across his face, and most troubling, a gunshot wound was clearly visible at the back of his head. Even more telling was the stiffness of his body, clearly indicating he'd been dead for several hours. To the officers on scene, one thing was immediately clear. This was a homicide, and they needed to figure out who this man was and why he was so brutally killed. Luckily, it wouldn't take long before officers began uncovering crucial details.
Do we even know his? We don't know his name, do we?
Yeah, we ran it. That's as far as that.
Okay.
We haven't positively identified him.
26 right there. Off that 28 that was ran at this location. Who would come back to?
26 that come back to a Daniel Rayburn. That one, they have the Eagle ballpark address.
The victim was quickly identified as Daniel Rayburn, a 40-year-old father and the homeowner himself. With this in mind, officers would approach Daniel's neighbors, who would reveal information that would prove crucial to solving this case later on.
26 radio 09 cleared.
I'm so sorry.
Damn.
Have y'all been home all day?
All day.
Been to the grocery store. Have y'all heard anything over there? No.
Like today?
Does he live by himself, or do you know?
A lady lives there.
Lady lives there.
There's a man deceased in her yard.
He what?
Yeah, he's dead right there.
In her yard?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Is he black?
Daughter said there was somebody arguing
Last night.
night.
He said, who you calling? Call me another one. She said, Mama, it wasn't firecrackers. She said it was a gun. Come here. You see his body?
Oh, talking about right here near the court?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This lady lives there with him.
Man, she can't. That's the same
She
lady that
asked
came.
some portions. Her name is Nicole.
Nicole?
Oh, yeah.
Is she younger, older, or?
She's younger than us. So I'm 43, so she might be in her early 30s, early to mid 30s.
Hey, that's just crazy, man. Like, you see how she's old. That's why I be trying to preach to y'all, man. Y'all gotta take care of yourselves, man. How is she, like, almost 10, 15 years older than her? And then the other one, or, well, she said she's 43, so it's like, what, 5, 6, I'm doing math right. You know what I'm trying to say. But, like, you know, like, and she just, you know, she looks, you know, good and of her age and stuff. And then the other one, I think they said is Nicole or something. She doesn't, you know what I'm saying, look all the best and doesn't all the way, obviously, look all the way up there, kept together either. Hey, man, take care of yourselves, man.
Some passerbys just come by. He's been there for a while. Neighbor across the road heard some arguments over here, and about 1 a.m. heard one shot. There's supposed to be a female that resides here by the name of Nicole. White female.
You know?
See if she's inside.
Yes. We'll knock on the door and then see if it's unlocked. We can stick and we do a welfare check.
Officers didn't know who Nicole was yet, but she would become a very familiar figure over the coming days. Without wasting any time, officers moved to search Daniel's home, and what they would find inside would soon blow the case wide open. But before we continue, it's worth noting that situations like these can be extremely distressing, not only for those directly involved, but also for anyone following along at home. To grow this channel, I found you. BetterHelp with someone who understands your needs the best and gives you a safe space to talk. And if it's not right the first time, you can switch therapists as many times as you want. No hard feelings. So if you're struggling, consider joining BetterHelp. Start fresh /Dr. Insanity and Gation. 10 off your first month of therapy. With that said, let's get back to the investigation.
Mental health is important, y'all.
Officers were about to search Daniel's home,
That's right.
aware there could be another victim or even someone dangerous hiding inside.
Says the door locked. Unlocked.
On unit radio is 10-3.
Police department.
Police department.
Police department. Alright, so females gone. You got a female now?
All we know is it's a white female by the name of Nicole. Yes. Right here. Nicole Woodard.
Fortunately for officers, the house turned out to be empty, with no visible signs of violence or struggle inside. However, they did uncover one crucial clue, a letter revealing Nicole's full identity. Brenda Lee Nicole Woodard, Daniel's wife. This discovery immediately opened up new leads for investigators, but officers were about to catch another clue. One of the paramedics on the scene would recall encountering a woman with the exact same name just hours earlier.
What y'all know about it?
I don't think the neighbors saying that they heard subjects arguing last night and a possible one gunshot.
And see what he or
Yeah, they said it's supposed to be a white female staying with them. First name by Nicole. We went in and cleared it. Nobody ain't in there, but it's a letter in there with her name on a piece of paper with Nicole Wood on it.
that name, we just picked up a person at Applebee's with the same name, 37 years old.
Had a seizure, throwing up.
According to the paramedic, 37-year-old Brandalee Nicole Woodard had been working at a nearby Applebee's when she suffered a seizure and was rushed to the ER earlier that day. To detectives, this timing...
Now, because from the intro, it sounded like, obviously, we already know who we 95% think can be the you know what I'm saying, the person, the suspect, whatever, Nicole. Damn, is that instant karma or what? She had a seizure and she threw up at work, you know what I'm saying, after she did this?
Felt a little too convenient. Nicole's medical emergency occurred just hours after Daniel's brutal murder, potentially giving her an alibi to distance herself from the crime. If this was, in fact, Nicole's plan, it wouldn't work out very well. Officers were now able to easily locate her at the hospital and question her regarding the actions leading up to Daniel's death.
Now, obviously, you can't fake a seizure and stuff, but like I know definitely Nicole, she's definitely gonna use this to her advantage and try to like get herself up out of this and be like, oh no, I wasn't at the, you know, like.
Since her injuries were minor, she was quickly transferred to the station for questioning.
Did he have any friends that came over to visit?
Once in a blue moon, we'd go over and hang out with Tim and Sylvia, but we hadn't seen them in a couple of months.
Other than that, you can't tell me anything else that you might know? Because he was out in the yard when he was found in the yard this afternoon before they called, about the after they called you. He was found out in the yard.
Nobody called me.
I mean, how did they get in contact with you?
The officer showed up at the hospital.
I'm saying you got in contact. They got in contact with you at the hospital. Okay. So other than that, you hadn't seen him none before that.
I hadn't seen him at all today.
Even though Nicole insisted she had no idea what happened to Daniel that night, her demeanor told the detective a different story. Her shaky voice and uneven answers indicated extreme nervousness. She seemed on edge, uncomfortable, and far from natural. These subtle cues could mean one of two things. Either Nicole was genuinely shocked to learn that Daniel was killed, or she was hiding something. This detective strongly suspected the latter and intended to find out exactly what Nicole was holding back.
And you don't know anybody that might have been he'd had problems with or giving him problems, anything like that? No, how was he on the job? I mean, he had problems on the job, anything like that? That you know of? I mean, we don't know if anybody actually done anything to him or whether he might have just fell and passed out or whatever. That's why I asked you how much did he drink last night?
I don't know.
Well, you said you drank a bottle.
I was drinking last night.
What was he drinking?
He was drinking beer, sir.
Has he ever drunk alcohol to the point where he would fall out?
Yes, I told you. But he hadn't drank like that since. I mean, he might drink 2 or 3.
Well, that's all. That's it. You know, is there anything that you tell him?
According to Nicole, she and Daniel had been drinking the night before when a verbal argument escalated into a physical altercation. However, she still insisted that he was alive and well when she left. Ultimately, detectives weren't able to get any useful information from Nicole and had no choice but to let her go.
And another free advice to everybody, especially in relationships, man, once y'all start drinking and getting comfortable with each other, I say maybe 2 or 3 months into the relationship, because most of the time that's when people should be comfortable with each other, which means that you start seeing different sides of them, whether if it's in a good way or in a bad way or whatever. You start seeing more red flags. That's usually, I say, around the pinpoint of any relationship. All right, that's where it starts out in. Now, mind you, okay, let's say you just start drinking or you just start, puffing on the tree or whatever. I say, especially during that pinpoint, the 2 to 3 month part of your relationship, really start paying attention to what your significant other does, from how they let's say if they get mad at something while they're drunk or high, all right? And really pay attention to how they act, really pay attention to how they treat you during when they're lit, you know what I'm saying? Pay attention to just how they just basically move, all right? Because it sounds like the craziest thing, but bro, drunk words or high words, whatever you want to call it, is always sober thoughts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff, unfortunately, when you start to have, you know what I'm saying, good times, whatever you want to call it, whatever, with your significant other, let's say just drinking's involved and stuff. All right? Most of the time, bro, somebody can only go so long with just pretending to be somebody that they're not. You know what I'm saying? Something always gets exposed, and most of the time, that's when you don't really probably notice it, because you're probably too caught up being lit or having a good time and stuff like that. But I know it's hard, but just really focus on how, you know what I'm saying, your significant other acts during those time periods when you were, you know what I'm saying, later on down the relationship. Because sometimes, bro, red flags can accidentally slip out, bro. And you probably will just you probably have already seen those red flags happen whenever you guys decide to have a good time. But you probably just brush it off nah, they're just probably lit and having a good time and stuff. No, that's really them. They're just able to pretend and able to mask whatever flawness that they did being sober, because they have more control of themselves and stuff like that, bro. And especially when it comes to arguments that I had left out also as well, bro. Really pay attention. If you get in an argument with somebody, especially when both of y'all are lit or they're lit or whatever, vice versa, really pay attention to what they say, bro. Because that's what they've been always wanting to say. And, especially when they get mad in an argument like that and they just They just don't say it whenever they're sober because they know how to hide it and just like, master whole personality and stuff. So the first 2 red flags you always see, especially in situations like that, bro, definitely don't be afraid to leave, bro, because you're probably saving yourself a lot of time and stress and probably danger in the future, man.
However, unbeknownst to Nicole, this was only the beginning of a very long week. Back at the crime scene, officers continued collecting evidence to determine who had been at the home at around 1 a.m. Now, with a search warrant in hand, officers moved into Daniel's home, hoping it would hold the evidence they desperately needed.
Go ahead and lock this door back.
I know the pastor out there, Danny, he said he's been counseling them. I guess they just...
Oh, they've been having a problem because he said that he told them the thing we do.
Looks like she cleared her stuff out.
Yeah, that's why I ain't seen no female stuff in there.
And they got listed leggings.
Oh, even the nun was in here.
Well, it's got listed as
But either way,
shorts and capris,
he said
leggings, comfort fits, pants.
Like I said, the place ain't tore, ain't no blood nowhere, except out there.
Unfortunately for officers, no evidence was found inside the home. With that in mind, officers expanded their search to the property outside, and that's when they made a critical discovery.
Hey, cool. Is that chicken dread?
Yeah, taken out early.
No, that's crazy. What, bro? Your locks fell out? Bro, that's seriously ultra down bad, bro. You knew you were supposed to restart or cut them shits off. You had a whole crime scene involved with it. And your lock falls out while you're trying to escape, bro. Yo, that is actually seriously diabolical. That's probably, out of all these crime videos we react to, that's definitely one of the top 5 most diabolical evidences that they picked up. Bro, your lock falls out at the crime scene, bro. Why you trying to escape?
A severed dreadlock was found just feet away from where Daniel was killed. The hair clearly didn't match Daniel or Nicole's hair type, confirming that someone else besides Nicole was present that night. Detectives now needed to identify who this unknown person was and figure out if Nicole might know who he is. But while detectives...
Your locks fell out and was left at the scene of the crime, bro.
were finishing up their search at Dana's...
Now, they said severed, so it could have meant that they kind of got into a scrap or something like that, and he pulled out his locks.
Home, his family arrived at the scene, and officers had to break the tragic news.
Hello. How's it going? All right. Can I help y'all with something?
Yeah, this is my son.
Hey, Mr. Dan. How's it going? Going? You doing all right?
Yeah, I remember you, but I can't remember your name right now.
Matthew, all right. We had pacifier, see somebody laying down, and they called me out here, and that's when I seen him. Was he married or anything?
He was living with a woman.
What was that woman's name?
He's in the cold water. What they call Poison Beach. Steve.
Sheesh. Bro, one thing with just like the elderly, bro, like, yo, they don't know who you are, everything. Government, full thing, like, exact how much hair you have, they don't know.
Although the family's comments about Nicole were somewhat vague, one thing became clear. Daniel
that probably already like changed everything from how the, you know what I'm saying, the cops is probably gonna go into it, bro. If they got the elderly literally saying, like, describing a chick like that, they already looking at Nicole like super sideways just off the bat. You know what I'm saying? She's already was on thin ice, but she's on super thin ice by the fact that was the way their description of her was.
Nicole likely had a deeply troubled relationship, but suspicions alone weren't enough, and officers needed solid evidence if they were going to identify Daniel's killer. Before wrapping up for the day, investigators would review surveillance footage from the neighbors across the street and spotted Nicole leaving in her dad's car earlier that morning. Additionally, when police analyzed Nicole's phone records, they discovered that she had placed a call shortly before Daniel's murder. With suspicions now firmly centered on Nicole, investigators began questioning her acquaintances to find out what they knew about her troubled, deteriorating relationship with Daniel and potential involvement in his death. That's when they first heard the name Misty Edge, a friend of Nicole's who, as it turned out, had received a visit from her just hours after the murder.
Mine's just so on the back of mine. They ain't gonna bite, are they?
No, they ain't
Get 'em up.
trying.
Tell John them to
All
come around. Hang on just a second. How are you?
I'm good.
This is Misty Edge, Nicole's friend and co-worker. She reached out to police, claiming Nicole had shown up at her house early the previous morning, acting strangely and carrying several bags. When detectives arrived at Misty's house, they never expected the shocking details she was about to share.
Okay, well, she messaged me the other night. It was the ring available, and I said that he had been beaten on her and stuff. She called me around 5 o'clock that morning. She said she was very confused, that she didn't know what was going on, that front door was open, that his car was still pumped, everything. That
Front door was open?
Yeah. We come back and she felt she was still drunk. She fell asleep on the couch. And I really feel like she was coming off of something. You ain't just gonna sit here and make yourself shake for no reason.
Right.
I really feel like she was trying to hide something from me.
This description of Nicole's demeanor sounded eerily familiar to how she behaved in the interview room earlier. According to Misty, Nicole was visibly shaking, nervous, and clearly on edge, as if she was hiding something. Whatever Nicole had seen or knew clearly made her unstable, possibly explaining her sudden seizure and fainting earlier that day. But what detectives quickly realized was that Misty herself knew far more than she initially let on, and for reasons of her own, she decided to drop the biggest bombshell yet.
Let me ask you this, when did she tell you about Daniel?
She told me that she had made a phone call.
And what?
Get rid of that. She also said she wants him dead, but then she don't want him dead. She walks in my front door and was like, Misty, hit me in my eye. I said, what? Hit me in my eye. I said, no, I'm not doing that. Because that's not me. I don't have nothing. I have no record. No, I've been good my whole life. So no, that's not me. She said she needs an alibi.
Detectives now had a testimony supporting their suspicions that Nicole...
Imagine you somebody's coworker and they come up to you like that, bro.
was at the house around the time Daniel was killed. Even worse, Nicole supposedly made some phone calls to, quote, take Daniel out. Not only had she likely witnessed the murder, but she may have even coordinated it. It was time to find Nicole. This...
Tell y'all, man, stop doing that dirt, bro. They got all their phone calls, all of that stuff, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just moving sloppy. Now, disclaimer once again, like, when I speak things like this, I'm not trying to, like, advocate and influence people to learn how to get away with homicides and stuff. But it's just like, you know, she just straight up moving sloppy, just didn't think about any of the consequences, just doesn't think about any type of, like, you know what I'm saying, like, just using your own daily cell phone, just going about this like this is some like GTA roleplay mission. Like,
time, there would be no walking away.
Going up to your coworker that you work with, that you probably only met, you haven't even probably known that coworker probably more than a year, wherever they said he was working at Applebee's, right? You know what I'm saying? You're going up to your coworker talking about, hey, I need you to be my alibi. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, people really just, like, it's people like that that just straight up deserve to just not have no freedom and no privileges in just life, bro. Like, what are you doing?
The next day, investigators set up a meeting with Nicole at her sister's house, prepared to see just how much her story would hold up under pressure. The goal was to pressure her into revealing the names of the people she called that night and what exactly she had told them.
Good.
All right, here's the deal. You know why we're here?
Yes, ma'am. Then, unfortunately, what are we here about?
Daniel and him not being here anymore. And y'all suspect because of the fact that me and him have been fussing and fighting and stuff so much lately that I may have had something to do with it, and I swear I don't. I mean, I've told him at times, yeah, you're gonna keep on beat your ass or some shit like that, but I swear I've never put my hands on him. The furthest I've done is I pushed him backwards. I've never put my hands on him, and I never would. He's the one that beat the crap out of me back in November. I was in Wings.
Although detectives hadn't
Y'all
openly
believe in her?
accused Nicole of anything yet, she immediately began defending herself, almost as if she knew suspicion would inevitably fall on her. Her husband had just been brutally murdered, yet Nicole seemed less concerned with helping the investigation and more focused on clearing her name.
Has anything been physical since then?
No. I mean, we screamed and hollered at each other a little bit and sent some nasty messages back and forth. The thing with us, I mean, if we were not gurring at each other, there was something wrong.
As Nicole painted a harrowing picture of domestic abuse, her explanation seemed carefully chosen to cast Daniel in a negative light.
Bro, like,
almost as if she had hoped investigators would see her as the victim.
They always resort to that, bro. Like, when a female, you know what I'm saying, like, be just super toxic, bro, and just knows that you are the problem in a relationship, that's the first thing they always resort to, bro. They always resort to that, man. Talking about, oh, like, he should put his hands. Now, for granted, there's always, you know, the 1%iles that's actually going on. So I'm not talking about them, because those always need to be the voices heard and stuff like that, without a doubt, and making sure that justice is served in that type of disgusting domestic abuse and stuff and situations. But for these, like, these types of chicks, man, she just completely, like, ruins it for, like, everybody else that's actually going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know damn well you were the problem. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, he used to beat me. Oh, he's just super toxic. Oh, he's just also narcissistic. That's another favorite word they like to use to, like, just a whatever. This sounds like a damn shark name or something from, like, 560 BC. That's their favorite word to say. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, to be honest with you now, obviously for granted, that's another a key thing I know, if that was them being toxic in a relationship and not the other person they're trying to describe. But, you know, I will admit, for some people, that actually applies to them, to the other 1%ile, them trying to make it seem, like, trying to make, to try and be like, you know what I'm saying, oh, someone's narcissistic and stuff like that. Like, that applies to people that actually is going through that. But for the most part, that's another favorite word. Like, for 95% of the time I hear somebody describing, like, a breakup situation, and they try to be like, oh, like, this person was just narcissistic. Like, bro, like, I instantly stop taking them seriously, to be honest with you. Especially when you say it the first 2 minutes, and you're not even, like, 45 minutes deep into your explanation. Bro, I just stopped taking somebody seriously. That's, like, their favorite word to say, man. Like, come on with something else.
And while parts of her story may indeed be true, detectives sensed that she was subtly deflecting blame and possibly laying the groundwork for a future legal defense. But investigators would see right through this tactic, and it only made them push harder to uncover.
And that's another thing, too. When they don't ever want to try and admit, like, oh, like, you know, he was acting like this, or, like, vice versa, she was acting like this because I did this. You know, they don't even take any blame for themselves. So you're the most perfect human being on earth. Everything about you is not flawed whatsoever. You're the most perfect person. Nothing you can do is wrong, right? Shut the fuck up, man.
For what Nicole was really hiding.
Like,
Ray, how did he die? You just said, we fussing and fighting. I don't know. But you just said, just a second.
We were fussing and fighting, and just, like, everything he did, it was just his fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I just woke up and was just the most perfect human. I know exactly where this is gonna go, bro. I really wanted to speed this part up. Like,
I've been told 3 different things. I've been told he may have had a heart attack in the yard. I've been told he was beat up. And I've been told that they don't know what the hell happened, just that he was found in the yard. Why do we know more? I don't.
Listen to me. It's always better. And I know you talked to the detective the other day. It's true that things have changed, and we know some stuff that you did. We need you to come forward and tell the truth.
I mean, I've called and talked to people and stuff, and I've told them at times, I love him, I hate him, get me out of here. Stuff like that, but I've never hurt him. I swear, I would never put my hands on him.
Listen
I love
to me.
him.
Look at me. Like Sergeant Rose just told you, we know more. We want to hear your side.
And I'm telling y'all, I
know you did not.
I did not touch him. I did not go. Hell, I did not.
You know who did. And it's time for you to tell us who did this to him.
The stress was clearly getting to Nicole. Detectives made it obvious they knew she wasn't telling them everything, and the pressure was starting to show. Visibly nervous and beginning to break, Nicole was about to give detectives exactly what they came here for.
I suspect that my foster brother may have had some, or adopted brother may have had something to do with it, because I did call them and I did ask them for help to get me out of there.
Why do you suspect that he had something to do with it?
Because they've all said before, if he kept on hurting me, they were going to do something. And the last time that we had a fight, they come up, he fixed him out, and that was it.
Randy, we know that you have made a phone call to somebody.
I called Pops, which is Hewlett Reed, and I asked him if he would come over and calm me down and stuff. And I called Andrew and Tom and told them to come over and find out what the fuck was going on. And Andrew and Tom said they couldn't get there anytime soon.
Why were you wanting them to come over there? What were you wanting them to take care of?
Not him, not like that. I swear, nothing like that.
That's what you just said.
I wanted them to calm him down.
What is that? Not like that. We know you said.
I didn't want them to hurt. No, I did not.
All right, so what?
I did not.
Listen, there was camera footage across the street, so let's talk about it, okay?
I never saw anything happen. I heard him out there fussing and stuff, and then they left.
Listen to me. You know more about what happened.
I have my suspicion.
She's a 9 out of 10 actor, bro. 9 out of 10 actor. I was gonna give her a 10 out of 10, but she's not crying enough.
I don't want to accuse
It's more
anybody of
complaining.
anything.
You know more about what happened. Now, you give us the runaround already.
No.
You have. And that points fingers at you. That raises red flags with you.
Nicole would finally loosen up a bit, giving detectives a couple of names. But that alone wasn't enough. Detectives still needed to find out who actually pulled the trigger.
What did you see and what did you hear?
I heard shouting, and I've heard all the fireworks and all that shit. That is all I've heard.
What kind of shouting?
You called something and ordered something on that phone.
What did I order? Because I haven't ordered anything.
Why do you think the guys would have come over there and done something?
Because he was being an asshole to me
What did
again.
you
I mean,
tell?
I just told him, I said, y'all just get him to stop. Y'all, I can't take it anymore. Y'all come get me. Y'all just get me out of here.
Don't you want justice for him?
Yes, that's why I'm telling you.
He was left laying in the yard.
That's why I'm telling you. I'm giving you the names that I have. Do I need a lawyer?
Despite Nicole bringing up her right to legal counsel, detectives weren't ready to give up yet and moved in closer, physically encircling her and increasing the pressure. And it's a good thing they did, because Nicole was seconds away from finally breaking down and confessing.
I called them and told them to come beat his ass. I was fucking tired of the bullshit. But I didn't think that they would do it.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you did, bro. Man, women be dangerous, bro. Women be dangerous. What do you mean you didn't think they would do? Yeah, Brand, you knew they was gonna do that, bro. This damn some chop shit set this man up, bro.
Before, and then I was scared. And I didn't know that he was dead. I swear to God, I did not know that he was fucking dead. I did not. I thought that maybe they just fucking roped him up on the...
Breathe.
They just roped him up a little bit and they come in and a little while. That's why I fucking stayed in the house. I figured he would come in and he'd be like, yeah, your brother fucking beat my ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie, but I was scared. And they had already told me before that if they beat him up, they got told on I was in trouble. But like I said, they never did it before, and I've told them multiple times, y'all just gonna beat his ass. I'm fucking tired of it, and nobody ever did. The only thing that ever happened was I ended up calling the cops.
Bro, it's just crazy, bro. Just like, again, like, dudes really be dumb as hell sometimes. Like, real dumb. You really, whether if she was some fine, she's completely chop shit. I just gotta say it again. But whether if it's some fine shit, mid shit, or some chop shit, you really, whoever the dudes are, you really sat there and threw away your life over a girl that, for one, y'all not even cracking. Even if y'all was, it doesn't matter. But just like the fact that y'all is down to throw your life away. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, like, really, like, woman, low-key, I've been trying to say. if they don't at the number one spot ruling the world, because I can understand like maybe like money at the end of the day rules the world in a way, and then like something else if you want to whatever your preference, whatever you want to put it and stuff. But bro, woman definitely got to be up there. I feel like they got to in a way like rule. They can literally, they have the power to tear down kingdoms, bro. Like with just words. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're connected right, you know what I'm saying? And they got a few people that have a little bit of love for them, bro. They can just tear down kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? At a snap of a finger. You got your damn husband, you know what I'm saying? You know, this, I can't even say, like, you never loved them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a fact, and then also, both of y'all have a kid. You know what I'm saying? You tore down the whole kingdom for what, bro? You got somebody else, bro.
Did you go out and check on him and make sure he was all right?
No, I did not.
Did you see him out in the yard?
I did
Can't
not.
even explain, man.
You're
Like,
almost there.
it's just
You got
sad,
about
dude.
10-15% that you're not telling us of what happened after the fact.
No, I don't.
You got 1 or 2 more.
I promise I don't. None that I know of.
Just sit there and think about it.
Even if parts of Nicole's story were true, her overwhelming emotional reaction seemed driven more by panic and fear than genuine sorrow. And by now, detectives had everything they needed to move forward, and Nicole would be arrested and taken to prison.
96 hours.
While officers had enough evidence for an arrest and were nearly certain of Brandalee's involvement in the murder, whether she had actually wanted Daniel dead remained unclear. To solve this, detectives now turned their attention to Thomas Harper and Andrew Huber, the 2 men Nicole claimed carried out the attack. Fortunately, locating them didn't take long, and due to their high likelihood of involvement, both men would be arrested immediately and questioned the very next day.
Some chop shit has some hitters, bro, on standby, dog. Like, it's so damn crazy, bro. Like, woman can tear down the kingdom for real, bro.
During their arrest, police discovered a piece of clothing with bloodstains at Andrew Huber's residence. After running a DNA test, this would prove to be Daniel's blood, confirming that Andrew was present that night, and he would be charged with murder. Still, there was one person left, and a final nail in the coffin for Nicole, her adopted brother, Thomas Harper. During his arrest, officers discovered a handgun along with 4 spent casings directly matching the bullet fired into Daniel's head. On top of that, the dreadlock found at the crime scene would turn out to be a direct match to Thomas himself. Neither Andrew nor Thomas ever claimed Nicole was outside during the fight.
Bro, need a restart too. Like, bro, you should have been restarted, man. Damn. Them locks is on a damn limb, man.
Police could confirm that Nicole had seen Daniel leave and heard gunshots, yet she never checked on him and never called 911. Instead, she simply walked away, choosing to protect Andrew and Thomas. This, paired with Misty's disturbing witness statement and the phone logs confirming the timeline, was more than enough evidence for police. Nicole may not have pulled the trigger herself, but she set it all into motion.
Exactly.
And because of her actions, Daniel was killed.
It's going down for murder for hire.
In the end, justice caught up with all 3. Andrew Huber was convicted of felony murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Nicole and Thomas Harper both pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, likely receiving sentences ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 years in prison for their roles in Daniel's brutal death.
What? I can understand Buddy with the locks, because he didn't, like, the dude that pulled the trigger was the other one. It was a Thomas or something. I don't even know. The other one that they gave life to. But bro, how does this Nicole chick? How does she only get 10 to 20? You set the whole play up, bro. You set everything up, and then to make it worse, like you guys have kids or you have a kid. You know what I'm saying? So you put a whole child in danger, or like in an area where the child stays and stuff like that. How does she only get 10 to 20 years, bro? What's good with the justice system, bro? The only reason this happened is because, bro, in a situation like this, I already can tell from just looking on the outside in. Nicole probably spent either years or months on months just gassing up the situations, talking about, oh, like, this Daniel dude treats me bad, this and that. And you just know how some simp dudes are or whatever, bro, or just people that she just had connections with on standby. Like, She's just sitting up there gassing and making it seem like he's the most terrible person when we obviously don't know him. But she definitely, in women in situations like this, they exaggerate everything, bro. Especially when they have a feeling that you don't want to be with them anymore, or they ain't really like, you're not really messing with them like that, bro. If they're crazy in the head, bro, they gonna try and get you up out of here, bro. She's the reason why he's not living no more, bro. Minimally, she should get about fucking 75, bro. You the reason why he's not here no more. This is crazy, bro. I don't understand the justice system, dog. I don't understand the justice system. She's just as guilty as the trigger man, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. How do you guys feel about this? Should she have gotten a longer sentencing? Like,